question, maybe in also reference to Somalia and our state-centric approach, maybe also the final state's vision versus kind of the reality on the ground, the different levels.
There are two issues related to that. The first is that the frequent mistake of very simplistically equating state building with peace building, and how that translates. Somalia is a very good example currently. You'll build peace if you build a state. And it's not that simple, in particular in a country where the majority of the people are very, very suspicious of the central state, in particular the monopoly of force that the central state will have. And there's a reason for that, because they had a very bad experience with the central state. The implication of building peace through state building in that context is that you're going to have to use overwhelming force, because you're actually going to have to enforce that against the wishes of the majority of the population. That's the first problem, and then I think the second problem has more to do with the post-colonial struggle over the nature of the state, and that's got to do with the colonial borders and their artificiality, and therefore the complication of ethnic identities crossing borders, and also with the ambivalence that many Africans have about the central state. Throughout Africa, in many parts of Africa, populations, and in particular marginalised and minority populations, are looking for federal or decentralised forms of the state. We have to recognise that, much as it's uncomfortable in terms of the broad post-colonial architecture. And in that regard, we have to understand what peace building will mean in circumstances in which populations are also fighting for some form of regional autonomy or decentralisation. This is very much to do with the African political process, but I think it's important that those working on the peace building process understand that relationship with the state as well.